Hey, good morning. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. We are presented by Time Warp Vintage. It is April Fool's Day, and this is no joke. This is our 21st show. I'm Brooke Allen, and we are broadcasting live from the My Michigan TV studios in Troy, Michigan. Thank you so much for being with us. If this is your first time joining us, grab your cup of coffee. This is a show where we brew up topics from a woman's point of view. So what is coming up? Well, today we will have two healthy, wealthy, and wise segments. Our first is all about recovery. Whether you need help starting or you've fallen on hard times, we'll tell you how you can live right. Also, what is going on with the housing market and that huge buzz about realtors and commissions. We will be checking in with a well-known agent for our Women in Business segment. And also in our second Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise segment, we're going to focus more on the wealthy side and what to do if you're going through a divorce and you need to leverage your home for your settlement, especially with those high interest rates. What do you do? We'll check in with Jackie for that. And for our Great Lakes Maid segment, who doesn't need a coffee scrub? G.L.A.M is here. Sign me up. Founder Tiffany Cartwright will join us. And we are just 26 days away from our community partner Shades of Pink Foundation Walk. That is happening at the Detroit Zoo. And we will show you and introduce you to an incredible woman who has been battling breast cancer. A single mom. We will check in with Beth as well. But first, it is our giveaway today. Where is that giveaway? It is over here. So you can win this beautiful organizer, also a $50 gift certificate to the Container Store to help you get a jump on all that spring cleaning. And a big thank you to Juliana Maidal, founder of Serenity at Home Detroit, for donating them. If you want to be eligible to win, here are the rules. You must like and follow Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen on Facebook and comment with the number 21, all in celebration of today, because today is our 21st show. Of course, we'll announce a winner at the end of the show with our friend and sponsor, Jason. But remember, if you've already won, you cannot win again. Well, it is time for our coffee of the day. And in full transparency, I am actually drinking gas station coffee today. This after dropping the kids off at school, walking the dog, who then promptly threw up on me. It's about all I could manage. So I'm hoping there is a triple grande latte in my near future. But that being said, I do want to give a huge shout out to the coffee shops that have hosted us. Blue Hat Coffee in Farmington, also Tuscan Cafe in Northville, 7 Sundays in Royal Oak, and Maylee Coffee in Ferndale. That was our last location. And let's not forget Bamboo Co-working Space in Royal Oak, and also the Beverly Hills Grill. Coming up in about 10 minutes, what is the latest buzz about realtors and commissions? We will be talking to one of Metro Detroit's top real estate agents coming up. But first, it is our first Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise segment, and we are going to focus on the healthy and wise part with Brenda Max. She is the president and founder of Live Right Corporation Restructuring, right? Recovery Group. Yes, Recovery Group in Roseville. And for anyone who may not know, what is Live Right?
Live Right is a resource center, as well as we have recovery homes. It's for individuals suffering with substance use disorder and as well mental health. We help anybody that comes in off the street that may need a job, clothing, food, any type of support, therapy, yoga therapy, substance use therapy. We have there's so many training programs.
And plus you actually help adolescents and adults.
We do.
Right?
Both.
And
we have a team program as well.
Okay, so the team
3
program,
times a
and
week.
I was actually out there. I came out to meet you, and it is amazing everything that you've got going on. I mean, you just mentioned a little bit, but I know Wednesdays are a big day for you out there.
Yes.
Tell me what you do on Wednesdays.
Well, we have a recovery mobile clinic that comes in about 10 o'clock in the morning, and they stay most of the day to help individuals that come in off the street. We also have a teens program that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where we work with individuals, tutoring as well as mentoring the individuals and their families. We have family coaching, and then we have GA, we have AA, NA. There's so many different support groups that we help, as well as mental health during the day. So we have 3 days a week of mental health programming.
And you guys have, I mean, it's really amazing. When did you start this?
The nonprofit was established in 2016, and I opened the building in 2019.
And I mean, when you originally came up with this idea and started this process, what was your motivation behind it?
The motivation was in 2012, I opened recovery homes with people in recovery, and you couldn't just put somebody in that home and say, hey, stay clean, don't use, and go to meetings. So I knew that we needed more education and training, so we started Monday night meetings. We started having yoga come to the home. We had a therapist that would come out and just do some fun groups, and it was more support needed because it was like a revolving door. Individuals would come in, they would get a few months clean and then go back out. So they needed more education, training, more support. Now we have a transportation grant. Then I was doing it for free. One of my first homes that I bought under the nonprofit was the backyard in Fraser. They allowed us to put up a tent, and we started bringing in art recovery, spiritual recovery. But I couldn't have that many people in the middle of the winter, so that's why we had that support of, hey, I'm just going to open a resource center.
Right.
And I'm a realtor, so I walked myself into as a land contract, and I'm like, okay, I bought this building, 14,000 square feet. You see?
Yes, I've seen it.
And we have a jail, So it's like, it was so amazing to do that and see how quickly that we actually built what we have.
Right. And you do have the Narcan vending machine, and I remember,
Yes.
Vending is the wrong word, but I remember when that first came to you because it made the news because it was the first one, I think.
Yes.
Right?
It was the first one in Macomb County, and that was installed, I think, 2 years ago. We also have one that's 24/7 out in the front of our building. So the vending machine in the back area is, it is called a vending machine,
Okay.
but it's free.
Right.
It's free. You just push your little numbers and it comes out. Plus we do the Narcan training. We will actually come to your place of employment, train all of your employees and staff. We go to the police departments, we drop off, people can come and pick it up, whatever we need to do.
So if somebody has been in recovery, and they've they've taken that drink again or started doing drugs again, but there is help. Even if you've stopped and started, you can stop again.
Absolutely. We do recover. We have peer coaches to help you and guide you along the way. We can get you to treatment. We have a transportation grant through Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So we can pick you up, get you to where you need to be. Any type of support. So there's medicated assisted treatment, there's therapy, there's going inpatient treatment, detox treatment, and having this peer support service or a support that can get you there and convince you maybe to get in and get some support.
How important is that peer support?
The peer supports are huge. They play a huge role in helping the individuals see that they can recover, that there's a pathway, multiple pathways to recovery. You don't always have to go inpatient, that you can get some support. We have so many different types of classes, educations, training, and just someone to talk to that can understand where you're at in your recovery.
And also where you've been, right?
We can relate.
When I was there, I saw the art room. And the yoga studio, right?
Yes.
It's an amazing facility, and it's so big, and there were so many people there So at the end of the day, when you're like leaving for the day, what do you think? I mean, you're helping all these people. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. It's just like next, because I know that there's more.
Okay.
There's always going to be more that you need to do. And when I leave at the end of the day, I may shut my doors in the front of the building, but in the back of the building, the doors open up. So most people don't have substance abuse 9 to 5. It's 24/7.
Right?
So that's where we have our gym open in the back. We have music didactics. We have spiritual recovery. We have a yoga therapist that comes in. We have Gamblers Anonymous that helps individuals. And it's not just for those people that are having the substance use disorder issues and mental health. It's for their families.
And that's important too.
Absolutely. It takes a whole community. It takes their whole family to help each other.
Right.
They're abused as well during.
Right. It's a long road for everyone involved, right?
Right.
So you actually have a gala coming up.
Oh, we do.
Yes, and
we do.
so tell me about this, because this is happening, what, in 9 days, 8 days? It's soon.
Yes, April 9th, and the doors open at the Italian American Cultural Center on Romeo in Clinton Township. This is one of our huge fundraisers that bring together the community as well. We have a lot of baskets, raffles. We have a new auctioneer, Melissa Hager. She's a comedian from up in Frankenmuth. Yeah. So you know her. Yes. So she's coming to do some of the work there as well. We have Mike Zapatowski. He's in the Marines. I can't think of, and then we have Mike Mooney. Okay. Mike Mooney is Choices Counseling. He's been around for 30-some years, and he is going to be one of our keynote speakers. As well, we have Jody Switolski. She has helped us with our expungement fairs that we hold at Live Right, as well as we have legal assistants with attorneys that come in, donate their time. They'll all be there. We have tickets for you.
Oh, you do?
Yes, yes.
Thank
we
you.
have tickets for you to come.
Thank you so much. And so dinner's included?
There's dinner. There's a live band, Nikki T and the Snake Charmers, and they're blues, and they're amazing. Oh, it is amazing. It's beautiful.
Okay, so if people wanted tickets for that, where do they get those?
You can get them online, or you can buy them at the door. I believe we have a limit of 200. There's still a few tickets left. We have 9 days, so yes.
All right, and if somebody needs your help,
they can call our office number, or they can go online. Our office is 586-217-5899. We have after hours numbers. You can go online at liverite.org, I believe will come up, or it's liveritestructuredcorp.com. As well, any number, if you Google us, we pop right up. We pop right up. Okay. So, and we can help.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You know, I really appreciated the tour I had a couple weeks ago, and it's just amazing to see everything you're doing and all the people you're helping. And that includes teenagers and, you know, adults. And that's so important, because when they're young and they don't think there's any hope, you're showing them that there is.
Yes, we just had the high school out, Dakota High School on Wednesday, and they had a panel of speakers, and they were so impressive, the questions they asked about what do we do to help our family. And that was just amazing day to have 35 students come to our center.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
See, you are making a difference.
Thank you so much.
Well, good luck with the gala. Can't wait. I'm so excited, and thank you for being here to spread the word. And of course, you can find Brenda. She is the founder of Live Right Structure Recovery Group in Roseville. Thank you so much, Brenda, for being with us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, mark your calendar. April 27th is our Shades of Pink Foundation walk at the Detroit Zoo. Their goal is to help those undergoing breast cancer treatment with prompt financial help for everyday bills like mortgages, utilities, rent, and so much more. Did you know that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime? And breast cancer treatment actually is the most expensive of all cancers and carries an out-of-pocket cost at over $3 billion. That is $3 billion. So you can help us, help them, join our team, and help make a difference with the Shades of Pink. You can scan the QR code on your screen to join our team team, or you can even donate. You can be a sleepwalker if you can't make it in person. And of course, later in the show, we'll check in with a local woman who will share the impact that the Shades of Pink Foundation has had on her life as she continues to fight breast cancer. That is coming up. Well, this is super exciting and new. Only for the second week, you can now find Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen live streaming on Instagram. We're super excited about that. So if that's how you're watching, thank you so much. You can also watch the show on my own Instagram. That is at Brooke Allen Official, and give us a follow while you're there. Also, we would also be remiss if we didn't thank our amazing streaming partners, and you can see them all on that graphic on your screen. All of our sponsors are there, also our community partner, Shades of Pink Foundation, on that list, but also there's a lot of other streaming partners: Skinny Teas, Artisan Bath and Skincare, Frameable Faces, Catalyst Media, Design Team Plus, Sarium Checkerell PR, and LA Mental Health, West Bloomfield, and LA Mental Health in Novi. Well, thank you for joining us. This is Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. This is a show where we brew up topics from a woman's point of view. Of course, this is our 21st show. I'm so proud of that. I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you so much for being with us. Of course, we are usually in coffee shops or out in the community, but today we are broadcasting live from the My Michigan TV studios. They are located in Troy, Michigan. So coming up, could the housing market affect your divorce settlement? We'll talk with a certified divorce financial analyst coming up. But first, it is time for our Women in Business segment. And we are joined by local Realtor Nancy Robinson with Century 21, Kieran and Oberski in Royal Oak. Nancy, there is a lot going on with the real estate market, right? And the housing. So first of all, thank you for being with us. And
Thank you for asking me.
I wanted,
so good to see you.
I know, it's great to see you too. I wanted to ask you, of course, we need to talk about interest rates and all that, but the thing that's been in the news, right?
Yes.
Is this huge lawsuit that has happened, right?
Correct.
Okay, so kind of explain this. I was doing research at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was looking, I was like, I do not even, I'm like, what is happening? So kind of walk me through this, because it's a little bit confusing, and kind of the thoughts out there of what people are going to have to do, what they're not going to have to do.
Right.
Okay, so tell me.
So you're confused because everybody else is confused as well.
Good to know.
Okay. Part of it is because we don't have a white page on what are best practices yet coming forward. Part of the reason why we don't have that, when we say we, I mean we as a real estate industry,
right.
is because the judge hasn't signed off on the suit yet.
Okay.
So we don't know 100% for sure if what they're proposing is what's going to happen.
And this is all about commissions, right? I mean, this
part of it is,
right?
Commissions.
Okay, so part of it's commissions, and that's what people who are interested in buying a home or having to, that's what the big deal is, right?
Yeah, of course, because we care about money.
Right, of course.
Right?
We care about a lot of money.
What is this going to cost me?
Right.
Is a super big question, right? So kind of, I don't know how far back you'd like me to go, but let's do 2019.
Okay.
When this suit came about.
Right.
And it settled, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I'll say, so like March 15th, I think was the date. Okay. And who settled was the National Association of Realtors. And they settled with 3 key points. One is that when we talk about commissions, we talk about transparency in commissions. So there's been pretty much a long-standing belief that when a property sells in a traditional channel, that there would be a 5-6% commission, and that would be split 50-50 between the buyer's agent and the seller's agent.
Okay.
And that has largely gone unchallenged. However, it's been challenged quite a bit in individual conversations, as well as, when we're taking a listing, that seller will say, what's your rate? And typically say, 6, and then they, we work
negotiate,
from there.
right? I mean, it's all a negotiation.
So we've been negotiating this for as long as I can remember, which is 25 years.
Okay.
But there has still been this belief that, we're somewhere between 5 and 6%. Now, Ann Arbor market has always been completely different.
Oh.
So they're like 3% on the first 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever that is, and then 0.5% from there. So it's not like it's been set in stone.
It's just how it's always been, it seems.
It's just been kind of like a general gestalt belief that it's somewhere it looks like that. What's cool about this, and I might get in trouble for some of my peers for saying this, but what I think is really cool about this is that all the buzz has brought forth conversation. So now we can really talk about what does this mean for consumer? And what are some strategies? Now, so here's the next part of the conversation.
Right.
What is this going to look like? What are those strategies? So you being up at 2 a.m., you were probably reading so many different...
I was. Let me look at my notes, because it was crazy.
Yeah, what do you have?
Well, let's see. So I have that the settlement will lower prices and make home ownership affordable again, because those commissions are going to go down.
So if we're looking at, so that's interesting, because I've read that one too. So that's a good hypothesis, but I just don't understand how that's going to play itself out, because most of us who are realtors or real estate agents, and there's a difference.
There is a difference.
There's a difference. The realtors belong to the National Association of Realtors, so we have policies, procedures, rules, regulations, ethics, a code that we have to follow. Realtors, it's not that they aren't good people, they just don't have to follow those codes.
Okay.
But the biggest difference is the realtors tend to be more residential with a little emphasis on commercial, and the real estate agents tend to be commercial.
Oh, okay. So,
Or property managers, or
and that's
licensed
like
by the
bigger
state.
money, right?
It can be bigger. Well, the commercial people, I would say they make bigger money, but there's also fewer of them. But let's say like you've got somebody who wants to help their kid buy a home, and they're not in a brokerage that belongs to National Association of Realtors. We can still work with them, and typically that seller will still pay them a commission, or they'll waive their commission and just say, credit my kid for concessions toward their down payment or their closing cost. But we work with them. You know, that's been
well, see, and that's the one thing with buying a house.
So I'm not really sure how it's going to lower the price of the homes, because you'd literally have to say, I'd like to sell your house. Your comparables are, let's say it's 300,000, but let's knock 3% off, and then let the buyer's agent get paid by the buyer. So I don't know how much we're really going to lower prices.
Right, and so so this is another fact I found. I say. It is the settlement a win for the buyers. In your mind?
I'm not sure. Could be.
It could be.
Sure, it could be.
Because this whole idea with the 3% and you negotiate that.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, it was always my understanding that you pay for your agent, right? I mean, if I'm buying a house, I'm going to pay my agent who helped me.
You've always paid for buyers, always, as long as I've been licensed, buyers we take the comps off the MLS. Through the MLS, there's always been a commission built in. Because you're not selling it off market. So there's been a commission built in. We've never kept track of what that is. So we don't really know. Like we know some things, but that's not a data point we've tracked.
So in your opinion,
we might have to start tracking that data point, in part, not because you or I or anybody in this room or anybody listening cares. They might not, that data point might not be that significant, but appraisers care. So if we're trying to figure out what the value of a home is, and they're going through a refinance or just try to price the house, how much commission has been baked into that appraisal? So we got to figure that one out.
There's a hot tip right there.
I just don't know it. So it'll be interesting to hear what your guest talking about refinancing
Jackie,
with divorce. Jackie, I want to really hear if she's got any thoughts about how that might impact value. So
there is so much involved in this.
It's really, so what I'm really excited about, seriously excited about, is for every person that's going to buy a home, sell a home, or be involved in this process, I'd love to hear what these strategies are going to look like.
Okay.
So, because the one thing we're not going to be able to do, and it might be in your cards here.
I'm looking.
All right, so here's the one thing we're not going to be able to do is post the commission.
Oh.
Can't post it.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow in all of this mishigash, okay, right? Somehow in all of this, they've decided that not posting commissions, when I say they, I mean the Department of Justice and NAR collectively decided not to post commissions. So
that's not real transparent, is it?
It's not at all. I just don't. I can imagine. I'm listing a house. So this is supposed to come down mid-July.
Okay.
Not go into effect in August, September, and then not be operationalized, fully operationalized till December.
Oh, okay. So we've got a slow roll.
So we've got some slow roll. Yeah.
Okay.
We got some opportunity to figure some things out.
Okay.
Get it wrong and fix it.
And fix it, right?
Right. Okay. So, so I can just so I'm listing a house, 123 Main Street, and the other agent's going to call me and say, "How much do I get paid?" Because they're not going to be allowed to show the property unless they present to me a buyer agency agreement.
Oh.
Now, we don't know if that buyer agency agreement, if they have to predetermine what the commission is between the buyer's agent and the buyer.
Okay.
So they might say to me, how much? And I'll say, well, we're offering 2%, or we're offering 2.5%, or we're offering 3%. But it might not, it's just going to be confusing. It's just going to be confusing.
Okay, so I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
What are the hottest zip codes? Tell me those.
Depends on what you want.
Right, okay, so for...
Depends on what your price point is.
Right, okay, so for, just tell me Oakland County.
Hottest zip codes, wow, okay. I almost want to say all of them, you know, and which isn't really fair, but, you know, Birmingham comes to mind, 48009. Beverly Hills 48025, Royal Oak 48067, 48073, Ferndale 48220.
I'm quizzing you. You forgot Berkeley.
I know them. I know them. Madison Heights. Writing an offer this morning on a Madison Heights home that's already got multiple offers over asking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's going to be a food fight later this afternoon.
All right. Well, good luck with that one, man.
We'll see.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for joining us. I mean, this is a confusing topic, but it is something people need to know about, that it's happening.
It is.
Right? Especially if you're going to buy a home or if you're even going to sell one.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right. And so for me, here's the opening conversation, ... Stay tuned.
And we love that phrase. How do people get in touch with you if they need an agent?
Nancy Robinson, 248-224-1013. And
there you are on the screen.
My email address is nancy.robinson01@gmail.com.
All right, Nancy. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to unpack that with you.
Thank you.
I don't know if we're more confused than we were, because this is
We're supposed to be a little bit more confused right now because it's not done yet.
Right. Okay. And that's the big thing. It's not done yet. We have to wait till July.
Right. We're just going to remember the beautiful piece is the conversation has started.
Okay. Thank you. Again, that is Nancy Robinson. Thank you so much, Nancy. Well, this is our mom moment, actually. My twins' names have evolved over the years. First, they were Baby A and Baby B, and then they became known as the Twinkies on social media. Well, they are 12 now, so I just call them Carson and Daisy. We had the honor of appearing on Time Warp Live with Jason and Jasmine. That is a show that's put on by our presenting sponsor, Time Warp Vintage in St. Clair Shores. Let's watch.
Do you guys do Easter baskets?
Yes.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny brings those as well.
They do.
The Easter baskets.
Oh, cool.
But one tradition that I've done with them since they were able to walk, is we've always had an upstairs, downstairs house, right?
Right.
And so their bedrooms have usually always been upstairs. And so no matter what tradition or what holiday it is, I always leave something on the table for them. So when they're able to come down, like Halloween, Valentine, anything, right? It's just been my thing to always have a little gift for them on the table when they wake up. So
Oh, that is so cool.
It's like April Fools. I always have
Just
a
like
little
April
surprise.
A little surprise there for you.
And like honestly, I can relate because even though I'm a full-grown adult, my dad has gotten me something for Easter, Valentine's Day,
it's so sweet.
and I made a joke with David, and I said, "You're gonna forever be in competition with my dad. My dad gets me a Valentine's Day gift every year, man. I don't know."
That's cool.
I think the little things end up meaning a lot.
100%.
They do, absolutely.
100%.
So is that cool when you walk downstairs and you see something on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the last thing you got?
What do you mean?
Like when you walk downstairs and there was something on the table?
The last one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember?
Today?
Like what was the last holiday that would have been?
Would have been their birthday.
Your birthday. Oh yeah, because you're twins,
Yes,
so you
they're
both have the
twins,
same
so yes.
birthday. So what was on the table for you?
Like there's a bear,
Uh-huh.
there's candy,
Uh-huh.
and a couple of dollars money.
Awesome.
And some balloons, right?
Yeah.
And the balloons.
So you're like, "Come on, keep it coming." I knew there was
That's
something out there.
awesome.
That sounds really chintzy. Come on.
That's awesome.
You know,
Now that I'm
really
thinking about it, I remember when at Dad's house, but not at your
Okay.
house.
Oh,
It's
in full,
really thin.
in full disclosure, I ran over to Dad's to make sure when you woke up
really?
That it was there.
But really,
and you
the
can ask
bear
Daddy and he
meant
will
the
tell
most.
you.
The bear meant the most.
I didn't really. If there's no balloons or money, or candy, and if there's just a bear, I'd still be happy with that.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, those kids, they crack me up every time. Of course, don't let Carson fool you. He does like the occasional iced vanilla latte or cold hard cash, of course. And a big thanks to Time War Vintage, our presenting sponsor. That show was so much fun, and the kids were so thrilled they were going to be able to go to school today and tell their kids they were YouTube stars. We'll see how that goes for them. Well, you are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. This is a show where we brew up topics from a woman's point of view. And while we are celebrating community and drinking coffee, we are live every Monday morning, and today we are live at the My Michigan TV studios in Troy. Coming up, we will be speaking with a local woman business owner who is a product that has had a presence at the Super Bowl, the Emmys, and the Oscars. We'll check in with Tiffany Cartwright coming up. But now it is time for another Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise segment. This time we are focusing on the wealthy part of it. Jackie Rossler is a certified divorce financial analyst. And Jackie, of course, we were talking to Nancy about the whole settlement with the, it was just a lot, right? It was. It is confusing. But for you, first of all, tell me what you do.
So I'm a certified divorce financial analyst. So I'm a divorce financial planner. So I'm kind of a unicorn in the financial planning world and in the legal world. I've got kind of one foot in each, and that's what I've done for about 28 years. So my primary role is to work with clients and their attorneys during the divorce to make sure that the decisions that they're making today are going to positively impact their financial future, because divorce is a traumatic experience, and it's difficult to think in a clear-headed way.
Especially when it comes to finances.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. But part of that is usually the house is the biggest asset, right? I mean, it's the house, the home, and you either have to buy someone out of that. There has to be a settlement involved, and it usually involves the house. But right now, it's kind of a bad situation with interest rates and everything going on.
It's a terrible situation. And you know what? It really affects a lot of women in my experience. I don't want to be sexist about it, but because a lot of women that I work with, they want to stay in the house. And so if you have a 3% interest rate, and interest rates right now, I heard someone this morning that got quoted 8%. So if you have to buy out the other person to stay in the house, or usually the person who's leaving the house, who might be the higher wage earner, wants their name off of the loan, and you have to refinance it. Now you're stuck with, I'm going to get rid of my 3% rate, which I could afford the payments, and now I'm going to be at 8%, which I might not qualify for on my own. And how am I going to afford that payment? Because that is at a higher price point house, that interest rate difference could mean a lot of money. It could make or break whether someone can stay in the house.
Okay, so what is your number one piece of advice for couples? I mean, this is a huge thing. So do you consider this before you go, before the divorce is final, I guess, right?
You have to consider it before it's final. So
what about before filing? But things change so much.
Well, before filing, it's worth a conversation. There are a lot of different options, and that's what I tell clients. This is a unique situation. I've not been in this kind of interest rate environment situation in the past because rates were so low, historically low. So, when I started, I remember when rates were 11, 12% because it was a long time ago. But there are a lot of options that couples have, and maybe it might require them to work together on it to try to.
How do you think that's going to go?
I think if it benefits both people, then I think it's okay. So if I have a client right now, he's the high wage earner. He wants his former spouse to stay in the house with the kids. And so the only way for that to happen is for her to keep that interest rate low. So a couple options nowadays, this has always been around, but it's become more popular that people are looking into assumptions for a loan. So a loan assumption, your lender has to be willing to do it, and not every lender is. But in a loan assumption, you step into the shoes of the original borrower. So you keep the rate the same. So you could do a loan assumption and you keep that 3% rate or whatever. Some people have 2 3/4%. So that is an option. But the hard part about that,
I thought there was like a but coming.
There's a but is that the lenders will not officially give you an approval until your divorce decree is done. So if you agree to a settlement that says you're going to take on a loan assumption, you don't know for sure if you're going to qualify. And you have to go through the full underwriting process to get approved. And it's expensive. And a lot of lenders are requiring clients to bring cash to the table. So it might be $7,000, $10,000 that you have to bring with you to get that assumption. And that's kind of an unpleasant surprise for some people.
Okay, so there's a chance that they may not qualify for that.
Right.
And then that turns into a whole other mess.
Especially if you have an agreement that says you're going to get a loan assumption.
Right.
And I think that many divorce attorneys that I work with most of the ones that I work with are fabulous. But a lot of times, attorneys are specialists in custody issues and some of the more important legal issues. What is child support going to be? What is spousal support going to be? How are we going to divide up the property? They're not really tuned into whether or not their client is going to get approved for a loan assumption. So we have a document in writing that says client's going to get an assumption and then they can't qualify. So now,
and then the divorce is final.
Divorce is final.
So now you're kind of on your own.
No, well, you've got an agreement.
Okay.
So does that mean you have to sell it?
Right.
At that point, if you can't, or do you refinance at the higher rate? And then, maybe some people can get, I have a client right now, we know she's not going to qualify. She's talked to her parents and they're going to co-sign for her. So, to me, it's all about thinking about the possibilities down the road, which is what all divorce financial planning is.
Right.
For me, it's thinking about what's the worst case scenario and preparing for, okay, if this doesn't work out, what's the backup plan? And that's not always considered.
Okay, so a backup plan for sure, especially when it comes to finances and especially when it comes to kids being involved, I would assume, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
So what is your number one piece of advice to couples who are going through maybe even just starting the divorce process?
So, one is if you are the lower wage earner and you are wanting to either step into the shoes of the you want to become the owner of the house, or you want to buy a new house, meet with a mortgage broker and see if you can get approved, number one. So
pre-approved.
Pre-approved.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-approved. Doesn't mean that you're actually going to get approved finally. Another important thing that can happen is if you have a divorce case filed, and so one of the requirements to be approved is that you have to have 6 months worth of income, and that's a Fannie Mae requirement. Okay. So if you're going to be getting child support, even if it hasn't started yet and you're in the process of divorce, you can set up a payment that goes, let's say, from your joint account into an individual account in your own name to start establishing that 6-month clock running. And as long as your attorney can file a document with the court that says you're getting temporary support and you can show that money going into your account, you eliminate some of that delay when the divorce is final.
Okay.
So that's one thing. And I think I would also recommend that if the couple wants one person to stay on the house, they need to have a conversation about them staying on the mortgage together and what that's going to look like. And a lot of people are doing that. And what that is going to look like in a year or 2 years when maybe that person can refinance. And with a great divorce attorney, you can get the language in there right, exactly how that's going to play out. So I always recommend, number one, get a really good attorney.
And number two, you actually have to talk to your ex-spouse, right?
Or have your lawyer talk to their lawyer.
Right, but communication is key, honestly. And you don't want any surprises at the end of the day when it's all said and done.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so do you, you take on new cases, right?
I do.
Okay, how do people get in touch with you?
So they can follow me on I have a podcast that is called Divorce Rich, and they can find that on Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Or they can schedule a complimentary consult with me at my website, which is wrestlerdivorce.com.
Okay, and when you're talking about finances with couples, I'm just curious about this. Is this like a hot point to where people seem to get very angry? Or, I mean, it's like I don't even know how to term it, but finances somehow seem to set everyone off.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right?
So it's really important. I always find it's really important for me as a divorce financial analyst to listen to my client. And because, yes, I think that I want to try and move the emotions out of the picture. But if you can't express them or talk about them, it's really difficult to do that. So I let my client tell me all of the things that you want to say, but let's treat this like a business that was going to split up. And if you were dividing up your business, you wouldn't be arguing over this lamp or something really insignificant.
Dog, right?
Right. Something that's going to cost you thousands of dollars. Okay. So my job is to keep my clients kind of eye on the ball.
And even keeled, right?
Even keeled as possible.
It is. It is. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I think it's an important topic, especially with everything going on with the housing market. And people need to know that they can get through it.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Okay, thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Brooke.
And again, that is Jackie. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. We are 21 years old today, not 21 years old, 21 shows old. And you can stream the show on our Facebook page. You can also now catch it live on Instagram at Brooke Allen Official. Well, we have many segments on the show, but one that is closest to my heart is our Halfway to 100 segment. This is about aging gracefully, but also about caring for our elderly loved ones. And recently, we talked with Joanna LaFleur, a dementia care specialist and expert with decades of experience who actually went into the business because of her grandmother. She's also the CEO and founder of the Memory Lane Foundation. Let's watch.
One of the biggest things is just releasing a lot of guilt, because I think a lot of times as family members, we feel like this pressure, like we have to take care of our person forever, right? And that's not always, you don't always have that ability to do that. And a lot of times people will promise their loved one, I'll never put you in a home, I'll never do this. And then you just can't keep that promise. And so I think really encouraging families that you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, that this is a difficult journey and it's okay to have hard days. It's okay to be frustrated, you know, and it's okay to ask for help. And I think that that's really, really important to be able to get the support that you need throughout the illness is such a huge thing.
I just lost my train of thought because I'm actually seeing my grandfather where he was, and just the whole idea of the guilt.
Yes.
Because that is a huge factor too. And I know it was for my mom and all my uncles when they were trying to help him.
Yeah.
And as far as the medication, and I mean, there are ways to lessen some of the symptoms.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I mean, there's 3 medications on the market right now that can reduce some of the symptoms for a few of the types of dementia. There's no cure right now, so it is a progressive illness. But one thing I always like to tell people is there is life after a diagnosis, a dementia diagnosis. There is moments of connection, moments of joy, moments of peace. There is moments of even lucidity where they come back and they can see things and they can still talk about the past and they can still connect with you. And I think that's really important to know, because I think a lot of times we limit people with dementia and we say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, oh, this isn't safe anymore. So they lose their life before they lose their actual life. Right. And I think that's so sad, and that's what I want to bring to the world, is like there's so much life after it.
and forgive me.
It's okay.
'Cause I'm
It's an emotional thing.
tearing up, just thinking about this. But the whole idea of putting them somewhere.
Yes.
But I have to say that when you may feel guilty leaving, but then all of a sudden they're walking the halls and they're
Yeah.
interacting
Right.
and you hear them laughing
Yep.
and making new friends.
Yep.
And so that guilt of saying, oh, well, no, my grandfather or my dad is now in assisted living. But you know what? They may be playing bingo. They may be
Yes,
having fun.
that's
And you
right.
can't feel bad about that.
Right, because it's very hard to engage them 24/7 at home. I mean, and you might have safety issues at home. There's so many things that go into caring for someone 24/7, and it's pretty rare that people actually are able to do it without help. And if they are, they're probably not very physically or mentally healthy doing it, because it's a very hard job.
And Joanna also creates short social media videos for tips on how to care and connect with your person with dementia. And they have racked over 100,000 followers on TikTok and Facebook. Well, you can see our entire interview with Joanna on our YouTube page, as well as our previous episodes. While you're there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Well, you are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. This is a show where we brew up topics from a woman's point of view. And while enjoying our Monday morning coffee, we are broadcasting live from the My Michigan TV studios in Troy. Thank you so much for being with us on this first day of April. Wow. We are all about community here, and you have been hearing us talk about our community partnership with Shades of Pink Foundation for the past 2 months. Well, coming up, we will talk to a local mom who they have helped, who has been going through breast cancer treatment. We will check in with Beth. It is time for our Great Lakes Made segment, where we highlight Michigan companies, and I am joined by Tiffany Cartwright of G.L.A.M Body Scrubs. And Tiffany, you are all about the glam, let me tell you. Thank you so much for joining us. So first of all, I guess I should say that you haven't always been in this business, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so tell me what you did previously.
Absolutely. So my background is actually in the legal profession. I graduated from the University of Michigan Law School and served as an assistant attorney general for the state of Michigan. I clerked for the Michigan Supreme Court, worked for some of the state's largest law firms, and most recently as an administrative law judge for the state of Michigan.
Okay, so you've got all of that background.
Yes.
But now you've got this beautiful products, right?
Yes, I do. Actually, this was something that was started as a result of a need. I was serving as administrative law judge when, unfortunately, due to budget cuts, I lost my position. Ended up actually being laid off and ended up losing my home, losing my car, losing my insurance, my benefits, all of it. And I like to say, but God. With nothing left to lose and nowhere to go but up, I ended up starting a company. Now, the company was based upon formulations for skincare products that I developed in my kitchen. My daughter was born with eczema.
Your daughter, right?
Exactly, you're right. So my daughter Taylor was born with eczema. Okay. I had no dream or intention of launching a national skincare line. I was simply a mom determined not to use any harsh chemicals or steroids on her skin. So I literally got in the kitchen. I started mixing natural homegrown ingredients to help with her eczema, and the good news is they worked.
They did, right?
They did.
So
they did.
Olive oil, I mean, there's a lot in
Lots
these.
of things,
but
yes.
you have perfected this.
Yes, I like to think so. And one of the keys is that, again, they're homegrown ingredients. We use sugar. We have a coffee scrub. Coffee is, I call it caviar in a jar, nature's best kept secret, because coffee's been known for years to help in terms of cellulite, wrinkles, stretch marks, all of it. So that's why I call it caviar in a jar.
Right.
And then sugar, natural humectant, brown sugar, excuse me. And I use essential oils in our lavender one because that's very calming, very relaxing.
Take a deep breath, right?
Yes, exactly. You know, we all need to decompress at the end of a long, hard day.
Right.
And we've actually got a peppermint eucalyptus foot scrub that is everything.
Okay.
Everything for heels, dry heels, ashy heels, scaling skin. It treats all of it in a wonderful way. We've got strawberry, lemon, and brown sugar, and mango as well.
Oh, see? So what's interesting about this is that you have had a pretty high profile, right? So tell me about that, because I was like, seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been wonderful. The brand G.L.A.M, it stands for Give Love to All Mankind. And so one of the things that I love to highlight about the brand is that our commitment to community. We are dedicated to providing jobs, training, and mentorship to underserved and underprivileged members of the community, and especially to women who've been victims of domestic violence or human trafficking, and also women who are returning citizens. This past Saturday, I was blessed to spend an entire day working and an expungement fair where we help people who maybe made mistakes in their past basically get a new lease on life by having their records expunged. And so that's what we're all about, giving people that second opportunity, that new lease on life so that they can move forward. And so that, to me, is, like I said, that's everything, because that's what the brand is all about. We have been featured on Good Morning America for the View Your Deal, or I'm sorry, Deals and Steals, Tamron Hall show for Shop Tam Fam. We've been in Essence, Black Enterprise, Forbes Magazine, Michigan Chronicle. Yeah, it's gotten
everywhere.
a lot of, yes, it's gotten a lot of coverage, for which I'm very, very thankful.
And a portion of the proceeds?
Yes, we actually support cancer survivors as well, cancer, lupus, and diabetes survivors. That is a very, very important cause to me. And it's actually was an oncologist that came forth and asked one of my customers what she was using on her skin, because he was noticing the difference, because despite undergoing chemotherapy and radiation, her skin didn't have the normal side effects at all, and so wanted to do a clinical trial to say, hey, what is it that you're doing? Let's find out what's going on. And so obviously when you have something like that that remotely can help someone that is battling something as serious as cancer, you want to do that. And so that's why we've stepped up, and we definitely support survivors as well.
Well, that is amazing. And also, so products are found online, but also in stores.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. So my website is glambodyscrubs.co, but we are also in Target stores nationwide. And if it's not in the local store, you can definitely go to target.com and purchase it as well.
That is amazing. So Tiffany, thank you for being here. And I guess we should say what this is. This is not for today, but this is for next week. This is going to be our giveaway. So thank you so much for donating this.
My honor.
And tell me, what if there's a coffee one in there, I might have to take it.
Absolutely. What we're featuring here, we have actually the lavender, because again, I think it's so important to decompress at the end of the day. It's infused with lavender essential oil, so it's absolutely wonderful for relaxation. And then we've got our two best sellers, our bubbling brown sugar. That's our signature one. So
Really?
I would be remiss if I didn't include that. And then second is our strawberry crush. As we're going into springtime and summer, it's absolutely amazing. It's fruity, it's fun, and it's something that goes across, so everyone will love it.
Awesome. Thank you. And Mother's Day's coming up.
Exactly.
Right?
Mother's
There's so
Day's
much
coming
coming
up
up.
as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
And maybe for Father's Day, right?
Yeah, actually, men can exfoliate as well.
Well,
Everybody
and they
needs
should.
to exfoliate.
They should. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate you being here and everything you do. And if you had one word to describe this journey that it's been for you, what would it be?
I would say it's been amazing. It has been amazing. I think that when we talk about this journey called life, it's not just about the hype and the ups, it's about being able to weather the storms as well. And I think that it's so important to be resilient and to hold on and to know that life is really a journey. But at the end of the day, come what may, it's always amazing. And there's always that bright light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to keep the faith.
Just got to keep going, right?
That's right.
All right. Well,
That's
thank
right.
you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And again, that is Tiffany Cartwright, founder and CEO of G.L.A.M Body Scrubs. And a reminder that we are hosting a very cool giveaway today. Not this one, not G.L.A.M Scrubs today. That will be next week. But this one, to help you get organized to be entered to win, you just need to like and follow Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen on Facebook and comment with the number 21, all in celebration of our 21st show. Well, we have so many great sponsors, including the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders. They are headquartered in Farmington Hills, Michigan. And Mind is made up of 35 providers who care for the full range of disorders of the brain, spine, and nervous system. Mind actually one of the largest private MS centers in the country, caring for nearly 5,000 patients yearly. And the MS Center was developed to provide not only the diagnostic care, but also therapeutic and supportive services to multiple sclerosis patients and also their families. They have infusion centers. Those are in Farmington Hills and Roseville. And in full disclosure, I have been a patient at Mind for several years due to chronic migraines. And I can tell you firsthand that patients receive individual care not only to improve their symptoms, but also their quality of life. So take it from me, you do not have to suffer in pain. You can find all of their information at mindonline.com. Well, they are known for their photography, Doug and Allie Cohen of Frameable Faces in West Bloomfield. And we had a chance to chat with Allie a few months ago about a new venture. Let's watch.
We just purchased Detroit Jerky. And Detroit Jerky, we are very excited about it. We've been fans of the product since they launched 3 years ago. And It's a plant-based jerky. It is so good. I was actually a taste tester when they first started out.
Oh.
And when they posted that they were looking at selling, only because they didn't have the time to devote to it, which we do now. I was like, let's do this. We have to do this. This is so good. There's such a need for it in the plant-based vegan community. And it's so good. So that's our new business venture.
And what's so interesting to me is that you, Doug, and Tony are actually in the kitchen testing this out and coming up. I mean, you're cooking it yourself right now.
We are cooking it ourselves right now.
Just to try it and get familiar with it.
Yep. So we are cooking up batches in our home kitchen for right now, and early February, we're going to be in the commercial kitchen. Shout out to Proud Mitten Kitchen in Plymouth.
Yes.
They're fabulous. And we will be cooking commercially there, hopefully getting back into stores March-ish. April. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question for you. Will there be a Detroit jerky vending machine at Frameable Faces?
That's an excellent suggestion.
See? What a good idea, right?
That's great. You heard it here first.
Yes, you heard it here first. We did this.
So I don't know. We'll put that. I'll put that on the list.
On the list. Put it on the list. And again, that is Allie Cohen talking about Detroit Jerky, a plant-based, gluten-free, cruelty-free jerky, and they will be April 7th from 10 to 5 at All Things Detroit. That is happening at Eastern Market, so make sure to check them out. Thank you so much for being with us. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. This is a show where we brew up topics from a woman's point of view while having our Monday morning coffee. And like I said earlier, I'm actually having gas station coffee today. We are live from My Michigan TV studios, and we are just minutes away from announcing our winner of the day for our giveaway, which is a $50 gift card from the Container Store. But first, the Shades of Pink Foundation, they are our community partner, and their walk at the zoo, that is coming up April 27th. You've been hearing us talk about their mission and all of the help they give to people undergoing breast cancer treatment in southeastern Michigan. In fact, they serve 9 counties. But I thought it would actually be better if you heard it straight from someone who they have helped. And I am sitting here with Beth. And Beth, thank you so much for being with us. And I know that you have been going through breast cancer treatment. But you told me something very exciting just before we went to air, and I'll let you go ahead and say it.
Well, today I'm cancer-free. Glory to God.
Yes. That is so amazing. But you have quite the story, and you were diagnosed in what year?
August of 2022 was my 44th birthday.
Okay, so your 44th birthday.
Yeah.
You're a single mom?
Yes, and I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer. It was stage 2, invasive ductal carcinoma. It went from my breast to my lymph nodes.
Okay. Yeah. And it's been a long road for you.
A long road. Yeah.
It's been a long road, and Shades of Pink Foundation, and I thanked you earlier because a lot of people may be embarrassed to say that they needed help, may be embarrassed to say that they're going through something. But thank you for being here and to share your story because the Shades of Pink Foundation, they've been helping.
Yeah, it was hard for me because I spent most of my life, giving into charities and doing things for other people, and always this kind of alpha female, right? So when this happened to me, it was very difficult for me it was humbling to say that I needed help. It was devastating for the entire family. So it was quite the humbling process once I accepted that there was help out there from great foundations like this. It was just a breath of fresh air. The financial burdens were lifted so that we could focus on the health and the chemo and the radiation and the multiple surgeries, and that was huge.
And it's interesting because they always say that like your health and your well-being, I mean, obviously they go hand in hand, but finances play such a huge, we've been hearing it all morning, right? About how finances can impact divorce or patients going through treatment. And you said that was like a weight lifted off of you.
Yes.
And how much has that helped your healing process, do you think?
The mindset, you have to have a very strong mindset to get through all of the things, because when you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, they lay it on you very thick. So it's a lot of, hundreds of doctor's appointments and treatment, and your brain's trying to take it all in, while at the same time you're like, well, I have rent, I have, my bills, I have, I'm a single mom, I have 2 kids. On the other side of it, for our family, my ex-husband, my son's father, was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's. Oh. And so, that was really tough for my kids. I think devastating. They went through that with their father, and then, they get this news that mom has metastatic breast cancer, and it was devastating. I can't talk about my story without talking about my faith in God, and that's what really brought me through. When I found out that I had cancer, I said to God, my faith was already there, and I said, I want to glorify you through this, and so please don't waste this time. If you take care of all of my needs, I promise you that I will glorify you. And so I've been doing that. I've been sharing my story publicly, and God met my needs, right? So Shades of Pink Foundation and other foundations, the local churches, the community started pouring in for our family, and it was like, wow. When that burden lifted, I found myself going to my chemotherapy appointments, and before they would inject me with my chemotherapy drugs, I would sit and pray with about 20 people, go into the rooms and pray and just tell them that I understand and they don't have to be alone, that I'm going through it too. And when I started sharing my story publicly, all of these people started flooding in, and I have been blessed to be able to sit with other women during their chemotherapy appointments, just ministering on the phone, sharing my journey, being an ear to listen to. And it's just, God opened those borders super wide for me. So,
how are you strong for yourself, but for your kids going through this?
There are a lot of moments, especially through my chemotherapy treatment. I was very, very sick. I lost all of my hair. I was very ill, so I had a lot of symptoms, but all of my strength is through Christ who strengthens me. When I was weak, he gave me that little bit of grace to just get through one more moment. There were moments where I couldn't get up and walk to the bathroom. I couldn't make it down the stairs. I couldn't eat. I was vomiting. It's hard to go through something like that. I think the biggest part for me was losing my hair. I had hair about this long. Okay. This is a beautiful wig that I get to wear today.
It's gorgeous.
But losing that hair was something that was taken from me, and it was devastating. What God revealed through it was I actually had a pretty beautiful bald head. And I had my family and stuff, and so we videotaped those moments. Those moments to give people faith and hope that no matter what you're going through, no matter what your struggle is, there's a God that loves you. And I know, there's a lot of people, like you said, that they don't want to share this journey. They keep it private. They don't even want to share it publicly. Sometimes they don't share it with their families. But I have found that if I could be vulnerable and also courageous and brave enough to share all of the ugly parts, that it was going to touch someone's life. And it's touched many. And so I'm appreciative to be here and share it once again.
And will you be at the walk?
I won't.
You
won't, I don't know
right?
yet.
Well,
I have surgery on April 16th.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be a long recovery. I have another one in May. But if I am well enough, I will be there. And, I would like Shades of Pink. One, I would just want to publicly thank them, be a part of giving back when I'm on my feet and well enough to do so, that I will continue giving back into that community.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And we will be there on April 27th, and we will walk for you, okay?
Thank you so much.
And we'll do that. I know you said you have surgery. You have two coming up.
Yes.
One April 16th and the other in May?
May 24th, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, listen, you will be on our minds, and I'm so grateful that you are sharing your story. And I guess for anyone out there who may be where you were at the beginning of this journey, what would you say to them?
I would say to them that don't lose hope, because that's where your faith lies, and to love yourself and to know that you don't have to go through this alone. God can deliver you through anything. Yeah.
And there's no shame in asking for help?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you again.
Thank you.
A pleasure to meet you.
Yes,
all
thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much. And of course, you can join our team at the zoo on April 27th. We have our very own Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen team. You can walk with me, with all of us, and just scan the QR code that you're seeing on your screen. You can even be a sleepwalker if you can't make it. And of course, the Shades of Pink Foundation, they continue the mission affected for patients affected by breast cancer treatment in southeastern Michigan by helping them financially. Well, here's some questions you may ask. Is my property protected? Are my assets protected? And most important, is my family protected should something happen to me? These are all questions you ask when you are looking for a home or a commercial insurance policy. Well, Lynn Sturla is
with the Sterla Agency of Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance, and she can answer all of those questions and more. Lynn is fantastic when it comes to figuring out what you do need or don't need on your policy, but even more importantly, Lynn will help you understand your policy, so should something happen, you and your family are covered. By the way, Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance is based right here and only serves Michigan residents, so why does that matter, you may be asking? Well, they are not subject to the same rules as national companies. They are competitive. You can trust Lynn Sterla to create an affordable plan to protect your home, business, or both for all your insurance needs. Head to sterlainsurance.com. That is STURLA insurance.com to get a quote today. Well, it is that time. I think we're running a little late today, but it is that time to announce our winner. I am joined by Jason Waldron from Time Warp Vintage, our presenting sponsor in St. Clair Shores. And Jason, drum roll, who's our winner today?
We had a lot of them. We had a lot of people, you know, commenting the 21, but the first one to do it is Amanda Wills. Wills. W-I-L-L-S.
All
Wills.
right, Amanda.
Wills.
Awesome. Thank you,
This
Amanda.
is awesome, too.
And isn't, yes, thank you so much. And Amanda, you have won this Lazy Susan, which Juliana swears by in organizing her life. And then there's a $50 gift card for a Container Store. There's also some coffee and a coffee cup in here as well. So Amanda, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. And of course, we've got Amanda. And then next week we know that G.L.A.M body scrubs will be our giveaway for next week. But before we say goodbye for the day, you know there are so many people working behind the scenes to bring you Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen each week. I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Of course, a big thank you to my executive producer, Christina McDaniels, also to Jason Waldron, who has been amazing for our social media, and to Dave Scott and all of My Michigan TV, whose production company brings you the show each and every week. Of course, Jared, he is in the control room, and thank you to Jacob, who is here as well. And of course, thank you to My Michigan TV for letting us broadcast from their beautiful studios in Troy, Michigan. And before we say goodbye, next week's show, we've kind of been switching it up, right?
We have. It's been exciting.
We've been switching it up. So today, of course, we're in the studio, but next week we are going to be in Ohio because we're going to do the solar eclipse show, right? The solar eclipse show. We're doing it.
Oh, I can't see anything.
I know, I can't see any. I know, right? So we are actually flying to Ohio to watch the solar eclipse, so that will be exciting. We will be live at 10 o'clock. Rain or shine, it's happening, man.
It'll be fun.
Yes,
I'm excited.
It'll be, yes, and then we'll be live at 10 o'clock next Monday, and then again, I think at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, right, for the solar eclipse to happen. So stay tuned for that. Also, we have a riddle before we say goodbye. What does Caffeinated Conversations, a brewery, and the color red all have in common? That answer is coming very soon, so stay tuned. In the meantime, keep your coffee hot. We'll be live from Ohio next week. We'll see you soon. Have a good week.